This is the Head Rush Podcast with Paul Frase and Corey Berry.
Welcome to the Head Rush Podcast. I'm Corey Berry, and I rode professional rodeo for 9 years, and our co-host, Paul Frase, played 11 years in the NFL. What was the last team you played for?
The Baltimore Ravens.
How many games?
I was there for 11 games. I got cut the first time in my career in my 11th training camp at the Green Bay Packers. I was starting my second season with them, and I got released, and I went home and sat on the couch for 5 games, and I stayed in shape. I stayed in good enough shape to, if the phone rang, to answer the call. So the Ravens brought me in the last 11 games of that year, 1998.
Did you guys go anywhere that year with the Ravens?
No, we were terrible. It was
Because
coach
wasn't Ray with you then?
Ray Lewis was yes, he was a teammate, and he Marchibroda, I think it was Ted Marchibroda, our head coach. It was his final year in the NFL, and we were like 1-15, I think. It was pretty poor. And 2 years later, they ended up winning the Super Bowl with Flacco. We had our quarterback was Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, was
Yeah, he was at the end of his great coach. Yeah, I mean, took your 49ers to the Super Bowl one time. And he was a great quarterback too, but he was
yeah, but he picked a shitty quarterback.
No. All right, let's get back to the topic.
Okay. At the Head Rush Podcast, we talk about everything related to brain trauma and brain health and wellness. We talk about TES, traumatic encephalopathy syndrome, the closest you can be diagnosed to CTE while alive. I got that privilege. Thank you very much. We focus on traumatic brain injuries sustained through repeated head impacts, RHI, and for our veterans and first responders, the repeated blast exposure, RBE, for our men and women who served in the armed forces. We cover how brain injuries can and will cause mental health issues such as depression, addiction, lack of executive function, memory loss, even suicide ideation, as well as degenerative neurological issues. Our mantra is how to cope and find hope. We focus on our energy on finding therapies and sharing hope through education and raising awareness. Please, everyone, like, share, subscribe, do a review on all of our sites. It'll help us reach our goal of helping people suffering from TBIs, repeated head impacts, and repeated blast exposure. And remember, we are also the official podcast for
the Head Rush Foundation.
Paul, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, Corey, you and I kind of get frustrated sometimes. We're not doctors. We don't have any post-nominal, we don't have any PhDs behind us.
I wonder if I added up all the time I talked to doctors, if I got as much as they got.
Well, they have their 10 years of studying, and then in late nights and long shifts. All right. But interestingly, you and I have talked about this a lot. We get frustrated because when we talk about symptoms of CTE, and these symptoms are found on the Mayo Clinic website and the Boston University website. Arguably, the Boston University is arguably the most research that's done worldwide. They probably have the most papers that's done worldwide regarding CTE. But what we get frustrated with is all of those symptoms. There's like 16 or 18 on the BU website and the Mayo Clinic website. To us, they seem like they could be attributed to mental health issues and brain wellness and brain health, or brain damage and problems with the brain.
I just asked ChatGPT, what is CTE and symptoms? CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a progressive brain disease caused by repeated injuries or concussions. It's most commonly seen in people who have had repeated blows to the head, like athletes in contact sports, boxing, football, or military personnel exposed to blasts. What happens in CTE develops over time as abnormal proteins called tau. This is chat.
Mm-hmm.
Build up in the brain. This damages brain cells and leads to gradual loss of brain function. Symptoms of CTE.
Mm-hmm.
Symptoms usually don't appear immediately. They can develop years or even decades after repeated head trauma. Cognitive thinking related, memory loss, difficulty concentrating, confusion, and poor judgment. Emotional and behavioral, mood swings, depression, anxiety, aggression or irritability, impulsive behavior. Physical, in later stages, problem with balance and coordination, slurred speech, tremors similar to Parkinson's. God, I guess I'm in the later stages per chat GPT. And progression. CTE tends to worsen over time, progressive disease. In advanced stages, it can lead to severe memory problems similar to dementia, which I call BS. The World Health Organization just came out and said that CTE causes dementia. Severe memory problems similar to dementia, personality changes, difficulty performing daily tasks. Important notes. This is the last part of it, and then
All right.
we can get on.
All right.
There's no cure yet, and diagnosis is usually confirmed after death. We know that. However, doctors may suspect CTE based on symptoms and history of repeated head injury. And that's where they're coming up with the clinically diagnosable TES, which is about to change, I think, at the next brain injury NIH meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And preventing repeated head trauma is the best way to reduce risk.
So would you say it's preventable from that last sentence, possibly?
Yeah, you don't bang your head.
Don't you bang your head. So what we get frustrated about is, we're not doctors, but the doctors of neurology want to say definitive statements. And we get frustrated because, and the list of Chat GPT actually almost mirrors the list. We're going to go down the list of that the Mayo Clinic shows.
Go
for
to
symptoms.
Boston, since we do Boston.
All right. So what we get frustrated about is we talk about mental health and issues such as depression, addiction, lack of executive function, so on and so forth. And they can be attributed to mental health issues. But doctors of neurology in CTE say you have to be definitive. We don't have the studies or the research. Well, we're going to talk in generalities.
Dr. Koffler, we cannot say that repeated head impacts cause mental health disease.
Oh, okay. So what we're getting at is we're going to go through Boston University CTE Center. Okay. About CTE Center, research, contact. I'm going to get the symptoms of CTE. What are the 4 stages? Wow. Well, let's talk about.
We don't care about the stages because they're going to change.
Right. Okay.
But right now, it's pretty important.
If you or someone you love is living with Parkinson's, MS, or symptoms associated with CTE, this is worth knowing. Ambio Life Sciences offers a novel alternative medicine called Ibogaine and operates the only Ibogaine clinic in the world for people with neurodegenerative disorders.
Many are reporting meaningful improvements in their quality of life after Ibogaine treatment. Interested? You can learn more about Ibogaine and apply at ambio.life.
What we're going to be talking about is CTE
Chronic
symptoms,
traumatic encephalopathy.
symptoms, and
Symptoms.
and we're going to be relating them to. We're not doctors, but mental health issues and brain health and wellness issues. So just a second.
Well, memory loss, difficulty concentrating, confusion, and poor judgment. I picked you as a co-host. Does that count as poor judgment?
Possibly. And I had the frequently asked questions. I don't want a frequently asked question. What is a TES?
Traumatic encephalopathy syndrome.
Yeah, and you're clinically diagnosed, right?
Correct. Through UT Health San Antonio at the Glenn Briggs Institute for Alzheimer's and Neurodegenerative Changes by Dr. Jeremy Tanner.
Yeah, and TES is the proposed clinical syndrome of CTE. To meet the 2021 TES criteria requires, number one, substantial exposure to repeated head impacts. Do you have that, Corey?
Oh, yeah.
Number two, presence of at least one core clinical feature, cognitive impairment in memory or executive function, or neurobehavioral dysregulation.
All of them.
All. So
how about you?
Number three, I absolutely suffer from some of the memory and executive function, big time.
Give me a for what?
Well, first of all, I've caught myself at a stoplight, and it was green, and I said, "No, why am I stopped? You only stop in red." So that's kind of. I'm only 61 years old, and that happened a couple of years ago. I mean, is that a problem?
How about forgetting to make flights and forgetting to schedule things?
I absolutely have memory issues, big time. So number three, there is a progressive course. So have you progressed over the years?
Oh, yeah.
I've definitely progressed over the years. So, and number four, the core clinical features are not fully accounted for by other disorders. Have you ruled out Alzheimer's?
Yes, I've had PET scans for
beta amyloid.
I've had the blood work. I've had everything. There's no other explanation for I got atrophy, I got separation of the brain, I got all of that. What you're going to do this week is get MRIs. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, a year and a half down the road, Mr. Paul Frase is going to go get a neurological test, an MRI, blood work.
I don't know if it's a functional MRI because they put that Hannibal Lecter face mask.
That's just for an MRI.
That's just for MRI, yeah. So that's what they're doing down at the Cleveland Clinic.
Are you doing a neurological evaluation?
Yeah. They're doing they're doing testing, like a 4-hour testing, neuro. And then I had those done when I was getting baseline for the concussion, NFL concussion settlement stuff. They gave us the opportunity to go get a baseline where we were at that time. So I'm doing all that, and then a plethora of other health issues. They're going to be checking my heart out, my heart health, and echocardiograms, and all that fun stuff. Every 5 years, the NFL, the trust, and I think it's backed by the NFL. They actually give us the opportunity to go for 2 days and to have a full body scan, and so I'm taking advantage of that. The last time I did it with the Cleveland Clinic was about 6.5 years ago.
So finally, Paul Frase is going back to get double checked.
Yes.
So back to the symptoms. So memory loss. Do you got memory loss?
So let's go line by line because it actually starts with cognitive impairment. It talks about trouble thinking. I have trouble thinking daily getting my thoughts aligned. I used to be able to sit down and have my whole day mapped out and, do this, 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 and this. And now I have to sit down and say, what am I going to do first? And then really concentrate. And then be able to start listing out my day. I have to specifically think of what job I'm thinking about and what stage are we in, and it doesn't happen at the split second anymore. It takes me a few minutes.
How about just trouble thinking what you're saying?
Well, two things.
I have problems with that. Like reading, I'll have problems with thinking what I read and thinking what I'm saying.
I absolutely have that. It really started with my I had 2 strokes almost 8 years ago, and within 7 days. And
Do you think that's RHI?
well, let's talk about that. It's athletes tend to have larger enlarged hearts. It's common to have an enlarged heart. Athletes tend to have atrial fibrillation, which I have. I've had it since in my playing days in the NFL. And so all of those, those 2 aspects alone could absolutely be attribute to the possibility or probability of stroke. Can I say it definitely, came
No.
from TBI or RHI? No. But
the probability is there.
it's very possible. Yeah. So it's trouble thinking. We've now what
And
about
I got a lot of problems with trouble thinking.
right?
I'm thinking it's trouble for me.
Well, we've had some unbelievable guests on, and actually one of the guests that we're going to be downloading pretty soon was Dr. Raymond.
He's already downloaded.
No, he's downloaded.
He's already downloaded.
Well, in shorts. But
No,
the full.
he's already downloaded. He downloaded a few weeks ago.
No, the actual podcast.
He's downloaded a few weeks
okay,
ago.
well, okay.
You remember, we are in studio right now. When they see this, Eamon's
Well,
downloaded a few weeks ago.
I don't think the way you think, right? So you catch a lot of stuff like that.
Right. That's why I'm trying to correct you right now.
But other things you don't catch or you don't remember.
No.
So
I can't tell you what me and Eamon talked about.
well,
The 2 things I can remember that I've taken to Bible,
you've been implemented.
I implemented the 2 things is his rule of 12.
Right.
You can't get mad until the 13th thing has gone wrong.
In a 24-hour period?
In a 24-hour period.
Okay. What was the other thing?
The other thing is every night when I go to bed, before I pray, I ask what went well today. Not what went bad, not how things went, but what went well. And I can I'll go back as far as I can remember, but I go back and, I went to the gym. I woke up. I took my meds, drank some coffee. All that went well. I was in a good mood. Went to the gym. That was good.
Yeah.
I drove home the 4 miles. That's good. And I'll walk through, and then we're in stormy weather right now, so I'll forget it. I won't say, well, that didn't go good this afternoon because we had a hailstorm. I just forget about that because that didn't go well.
Yeah. Well,
so I only say what went well that day.
And interestingly, the way that Dr. Raymond was discussing it with us, it actually things that seem kind of benign to us, they're not neither good nor bad. You can actually look at them as being a positive accomplishment.
Right.
Especially
it's changing the negative to a positive.
Right. Exactly. All right. So memory loss, another impairment that ChatGPT said that that the Mayo Clinic and Boston University websites.
Dude, memory loss. What were we just talking about?
If you've been told it's all in your head, but deep down you know something is wrong, listen closely. Brain fog, depression, anxiety, irritability, even PTSD. These are not just mental issues. They may be signals of neuroinflammation and hormonal disruption, root causes that traditional medicine often ignores. At the Millennium Health Centers, founded by Dr. Mark Gordon, they have helped veterans, athletes, and everyday people restore brain function using a medical process called the Millennium Protocol. Take their free brain health assessment at tbihelpnow.org and discover if inflammation, not weakness, is holding you back. You're not broken, you're unbalanced, and balance can be restored. Well, I'm 61. Shouldn't I have memory loss?
Well, yeah.
Well, should I? Well,
but where's your... This is the
Well, should I?
problem.
Should
Now,
I?
Paul, hold on a second. This is the problem that you're going to find out come Thursday. Well, probably in about a month when you get the results of it all.
Right.
Is they're going to, when you do your neurological exam, you're going to find out where you're at compared to other 61-year-old males.
Right. And
I am far
below the average.
I'm way below the average on executive function. I'm below the average on memory. I'm below the average on 88, 90% of it.
So interestingly, yes, I'll be able to compare what I got I did I did all of those tests, 8, 9, 10 years ago, and I'm going to be able to compare the results against where I was at that average where I was.
I do it every year.
I remember I did it probably 15 or 20 years ago, and I was a lot better than that 8 or 9 years ago. It was proven through the averages or statistical, all the stuff that they collect, all the data and information. All right, so memory loss. Okay, is it 61 years old, or do I have accelerated memory loss? And some of those neurological tests are about to do test your memory.
I'm diagnosed mild dementia.
Okay. So, all right. So, let's talk about problems and the cognitive impairment, the third issue in the Mayo Clinic. Problems with planning, organizing, and carrying out tasks. What are you laughing about, Corey?
I'm laughing at you on this one. Let's see how honest Paul Frase will be, and then I'll tell you what Paul Frase is. Talk about organizing, planning.
No, I was not really organized before, but when things hit the fan, the proverbial cow manure hit the fan. At 47 years old, I really, really struggle with organizing and planning tasks and carrying out and following through and finishing.
We just had a big blowout over all this organizing, planning tasks, and organizing. Everything that you just read was our big blowout.
So let's go on to behavioral changes.
No. Let's go back. You have a hard time with that.
Well,
I'm horrible. I write down everything. It's on my phone in notes. Right. I got calendar on the refrigerator. I got my journal and my phone. Everything is written down, my plan. I even got plan marked out on the calendar for gym.
Yeah.
And the days I can make it, I go, and the days I can't, I don't. But I got to mark from this time to this time, and I got to be structured so much. Mm-hmm. And you know that come 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry, I got to go to the gym. And
you couldn't change direction, or if you had to, you would, but you had that regimented, you have it written
I can't
down.
Change it. It would cause me this.
Right.
It would tilt my brain.
Right. Well, I know it's interesting. Sometimes in my day job, I can, because I'm so zoned in, I can actually, I always call it the opportunity for solutions on the construction site every single day, many times a day. And but when I'm off that task, that specific task, and I all of a sudden have things that I have to organize, and what do I do next, and what's going on, not work related, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to plan out. And I'm writing stuff down. I've got my notebook. I'm writing stuff down. Just about everything I need to do, so I can look back and say, okay, what did I write down?
Well, let's just talk about what we went through on this little blowout a little bit. Is you went up to New Hampshire to see your mom. Me and you talked about, before you went up there, what we were going to discuss at our next podcast. And you said you were going to write the script over the weekend.
Right. And I forgot it because I didn't write it down. So we talked the next Tuesday, and you said, hey, let's do it Thursday night. And I said, okay, what are we going to talk about? And we both said, oh, we couldn't remember it because I didn't write it down and I didn't write the script. And then we said, okay, let's do, we actually were going to do
This. But instead, you got the Patrick Risha release because 4 hours before the podcast, when I talked to Paul, I was like, hey, how's that script coming along?
Oh, man.
These are the problems, people, that, Paul's normal. He's way ahead of me on the normal realm. He can still work. He can still function. But here's a man that works 12 hours a day, builds homes, has to look at plans, get building permits, hook up subcontractors, and build a home for a millionaire. And we're talking about behavioral issues, mind issues, and all of this that he has to deal with doing this. I couldn't do that anymore. And that's the bad thing, is I couldn't prioritize and plan my day out, because if something went wrong,
it would throw a monkey wrench in everything.
And then my day is like, and then my brain goes.
And then it's almost impossible to, without just breathing exercises, right. Without, I know you've been doing
breathing techniques.
Yeah, all that stuff. So, it takes a while to reset.
Right.
All right. Really, behavioral changes, impulsive behavior.
Do I got that?
Well, you have a personality that is, one would call it no filter. You say what you believe, and that's true. Your truth. So, is that impulsive behavior, or has it gotten worse over the years after neurological? You've been diagnosed.
What do you think impulsive behavior would be? Is it me being nice like this and then cussing you out the next minute? Is that impulsive behavior?
That could be impulsive behavior. I would say, in my instance, impulsive behavior would be when I was having problems with alcohol. That's an addiction behavior, I guess. But
impulsivity.
Yeah. Especially when you don't want to do it, I guess.
Right. Well, it's kind of like me at the gas station when the guy honked at Judy and my wife and yelled at her. I was just standing there, and the minute he'd done that, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was running towards the car to whip his butt. Millions live with depression, anxiety, fatigue, or emotional chaos, believing it's permanent. It's not. The Millennium Protocol targets hidden inflammation and hormone disruption caused by trauma, stress, and time. created by Dr. Mark Gordon, featured multiple times on Joe Rogan and the Head Rush podcast, plus the documentary movie Quiet Explosions. This approach has transformed lives once written off as hopeless. Visit tbihelpnow.org and take the 10-question brain health assessment. Healing is possible. Your story isn't over. Let's begin again with your brain.
The next one is aggression.
Oh, I ain't got an issue with that.
You grew up differently, and being a cowboy, rough and tough, and you had situations that you were
Best friend's box.
best friend's box. Yeah. Well, and
How else are you going to work out your differences? I mean, where I grew up, if you had major differences, you handled it. And then when you were done, you went and had a beer or went and had a soda if you're still in school.
I had one.
I remember fighting my best friends in high school.
Yeah, I had one where I had to stand up for myself, but I sucker punched my brother in the gut. He deserved it.
Did he knock the living hell out of you?
No, I was faster than him. He was sucking air because I
you
popped
were running.
No, I ran. I ran real fast. And so anyway, all right. This is Boston University and Mayo Clinic symptoms, mood changes, but depression or apathy. And
yes.
Can you attribute depression or apathy to a mental health situation or brain health and wellness situation?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when the doctors of neurology say you have to speak definitively, you cannot detect CTE amongst the living and without an autopsy. Okay, that's fine. But when CTE is associated with mood changes in depression or apathy, the next one...
I've been diagnosed with both.
And the next one, emotional instability.
I've been diagnosed with...
Yeah, that's not just ChatGPT,
No.
but it mirrors exactly what...
That's through my neurological exams.
Substance misuse.
I never had an issue with that.
You never had an issue with that. Alcohol was my substance of choice, of misuse.
And how bad did you get?
I had an epiphany, come to Jesus at 24 years old and stopped drinking beer for a couple years. And then I got back on it and I was drinking like a gentleman for many years. And then, life and things changed and I started drinking, not as a gentleman. I started abusing alcohol for probably 8 or 10 years.
And now you're a friend of Bill W.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. Yeah, going on 9 years. But I had a miracle though, too. In those rooms, in the 12-step rooms, one of the sayings is don't leave the rooms before your miracle happens.
What was your miracle?
Well, after suffering a second stroke in 7 days on February 14th in 2018, I was standing in the Mayo Clinic that night, and fortunately it had not affected my balance or left side paralysis or anything, or palsy or anything like that. It took my speech. So I literally remember standing in that room that night, couldn't talk, and I was thinking, if I keep doing this, I'm dead. I want the opportunity to walk my daughter down the aisle. Boom! That was my miracle. Haven't had an issue or an urge to drink since. Thank you, God.
My miracle, not due to addiction. I think my mother being an alcoholic like she was, made me well aware not to become an addict to alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I went 100% the opposite direction. I could still have a drink, but I hate not being in control of myself. And I think being raised by an alcoholic helped me be that way to where I don't get addicted to nothing
Right.
except my wife and my daughter. I'm addicted to them because I love them. I'm a love addict when it comes to them. But my miracle is the same as yours, is with my suicide ideation, was walking my daughter down the aisle.
That's the next one, suicidal thoughts or behavior.
And I had them both.
You had them both, and you didn't have them until your last extreme TBI,
Correct.
and which was in 2022.
Yes.
And so,
And now I get them.
yeah,
It's getting easier, I think, because of the red light therapy, or the Millennium Health Protocol,
could be a combination of
everything I'm doing, the EMDR, the neurofeedback, the red light therapy, Crystal Clark. I mean, all of it helps.
right.
I mean, you just can't try something for a month and say, well, it didn't work. I've been doing this for a year and a half, and if I said it didn't work, I wouldn't be doing any of it.
Right.
You got to keep coming back. It works.
It's continuous.
And I think with the suicide ideation, it's lessened, but just the other night, I had to tell them, you need to come to bed with me.
Talk you off the ledge?
No.
Or just,
Just come to bed and rub my head. And when she rubbed my head while I was laying in bed, I can concentrate on that and not on this. My thinking no longer was there.
Right.
Because I can concentrate on her rubbing my head.
Yeah. Well, that's powerful because we've been involved with the Concussion and CTE Foundation, their helplines frequently, and you've shared that with many. A lot of people on that helpline have dealt with suicide ideation, and you've actually been able to talk them off the ledge. Encourage them. Some.
Do you ever remember having any suicide ideation in your life?
I have probably 3 times, and it was in my younger years, probably when I was struggling with the alcohol mostly. Thought about it for a split second, and it was one of those weird normal things. This bridge abutment, it might just put everybody out of their misery just for just a split second. And I never, so I
never dwelled on it.
No, never dwelled on it. Never. And yeah, so I don't think I've, the suicide ideation that I don't think you can call it that whatsoever, but yeah, I've never dwelled on it fortunately. So
I have.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. It's not a good thing to talk about. My wife don't like to hear about it. It scares her.
Oh, yeah. Well.
But it's something that happens in this world of RHIs. And what I tell people is, you know what, folks? It took 30 years of beating my head to get here. I got to give myself 30 years to better myself before I can do it.
Exactly.
So I got until 2052.
That's right.
I'm not going to be alive that long.
You're going to stick around.
But if you look at it, you got to compare it to the amount of years you gave yourself the damage.
Right. Absolutely.
It took you 20 years of intense football.
Absolutely.
You got to give yourself 20 years to get better.
Right. And I didn't start trying to get better until 49, 50 years old. This episode of the Head Rush Podcast is brought to you by the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation. Their goal is to spread awareness about the dangers of RHI, repetitive head impacts, after losing their son, Patrick, to CTE. Sadly, There are too many like Patrick that have lost their families, jobs, and sometimes their lives. And this foundation is working hard to stop the devastation that can come from not protecting the brain. This foundation provides parents of school-age children with information about the dangers of sports, concussive sports, and activities which involve head trauma.
They advertise on social media, print media, and billboards. Please follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok and share their ads with others. And please visit their website, stopcte.org, to find ways to help people recognize the disease if confronted with it in their family, and how to prevent the suffering that can come to families when a brain is damaged. The website has medical forms to take to doctor's visits and advocacy letters if you want to help make change in your community. And their most recent campaign is geared up to help coaches build brain-healthy teams. You can use the information on stopcte.org website to understand CTE, live with CTE, and prevent CTE. Please visit. Thank you. And don't knock it. StopCTE.org. Dr. Amen talked about thoughts, how we not to try to allow that thought to come in and penetrate to where it lives in your head. It comes in, it goes out.
He's famous for saying, don't believe every stupid thought you think.
Right.
We all think thoughts, and we think ridiculous things, and we conjure up, we forecast, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know, so why do we worry ourselves about what we don't know? Now, until it happens. When it happens, okay, deal with it.
No.
All right, movement symptoms. And you deal
I got this. Parkinsonisms.
I have, and again, I don't know if it's related to my AFib and heart and this and that and repeated head impacts. There we could say, okay, doctors, there's no definitive, but something's going on. I definitely have had moments of dizziness, moments of, standing in the shower and worried about, I don't want to hit the floor here, okay, leaning against the shower.
I get that all the time.
Do you? You're leaning against the shower wall just for 5 seconds and kind of get your bearings, especially if you got soap around your face and your eyes are closed and you're like, hang on, grab the side and
the bad thing is we moved into the travel trailer because of me having issues with the tracks and the planes and all of that. And being in the travel trailer is actually hurting me because everything's so tight, I'm spinning.
Wow.
And it's turning more. And with all my vestibular issues, my balance issues, it intensifies it.
Right.
And it's like the other day, we got an 18-year-old puppy. 18-year-old puppy. She felt like she was a puppy.
Bruiser.
Yeah. And I went to play with her and just go down and run back and forth. And about the third time, put my head in the refrigerator.
Wow. Oh, gosh. The movement symptoms. So trouble with walking and with balance.
Right. I got nerve damage for my opticals.
Right.
And my hearing. And so these glasses are prisms.
Okay.
Because I've gotten double vision. And also age, getting old. But
well, you think about how intense both vision and auditory hearing are to how important they are to your balance.
Oh, yeah. Everything.
Yeah. And I mean, you hear of vertigo, some people getting vertigo for no reason all of a sudden.
I get it all the time.
Do you? And I know one of our friends, Chris Boyce, he gets a lot of the movement issues as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, and he
Light sensitivity.
right.
This ain't a joke.
No,
I mean, it's
and well, you back up. It's an invisible situation. I look at you and I wouldn't, if I didn't know you, I wouldn't guess that you were dealing with those things.
oh yeah. And then when you talk to people, well, what do you think Galen thought yesterday? I was off yesterday.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And with me not being good, Galen never met me before.
She's talked to you on the phone before, and you've had, good conversations.
Right, but
yeah.
I mean, most people would look at me and go, God, he's an idiot. He's got mental issues.
Right. No, so I've known you for 14, 16 months, whatever it is. And I was able to tell Gaylin, because she's talked to you. You've been, you guys have had perfectly wonderful conversations on the phone. And I was able to tell her, hey, the barometric pressure has changed. The storms are going, the rain is going, and Corey could be off quite a bit, and she, her comment was, after we sat and we had a meal together, she understood. She said, oh, wow, Corey can really get affected by something as simple as, rainstorms and barometric pressure.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a powerful, but if she didn't know you, and she didn't know, if we didn't know the issues you have, she would really be scratching her head.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, and I just learned it since I deal with it, but I remember my vestibular coach talking to me going, the weather's going to affect you. You're an idiot. What the hell are you talking about? The weather affect me. She goes, well, how many back surgeries have you had? And I said, 2. How many neck surgeries? 1. How many bones have you broken? Several. How many shoulder surgeries? 5.
Right.
And, and she's like, so when the weather comes in, do you feel it? And I said, oh yeah, I'm your national weatherman. Right. I can tell you when it's going to. She goes, don't you think your brain is the same way?
Yeah.
And I went,
yep. So
tweet, 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 tweet.
It's affected by things that are unseen as well.
Right.
All right. So the next one was, and we already talked about this, shaking, slow movement, and trouble with speech, known as Parkinsonism. Parkinsonisms.
I get the right hand shakes.
Yeah.
I get little Parkinsonisms.
Yeah. I had, when I had my strokes, it'll be 9 years ago, February 14th, this coming. But I always had a shake in my right hand, and my father had it as well when he was later on. Probably bothered him the last 10 years of his life, but he was 90 years old. And he couldn't even hold a cup of coffee, in his right hand. So anyway, I just wanted to rule out, Parkinsonisms. And a movement specialist at the Mayo Clinic told me I had familial tremors. And he said they were actually genetic. And that was quite interesting, because that was the time where we were worried about my father with his shaking of his right hand. But fortunately, he was not dealing with Parkinson's. But we've talked to Brett Varve, who actually has been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Does he have Parkinson's, or is it Parkinsonism?
No, he has Parkinson's.
He actually has Parkinson's.
But he also said no one in his family's had Parkinson's.
Right.
So there's only 2 ways you can get it: repeated head impacts or food.
Exposure to chemicals and this and
right
okay
are the only 2.
Right.
So
This episode of the Head Rush Podcast is brought to you by our personal doctor and team of doctors, Dr. Mizell DeMayo, and she's with the Paradise Behavioral Health, and we are in the
Brainwell program, which is also part of the Millennium Health Center. Dr. Mark Gordon, you've seen him on Joe Rogan and even on our show, the Head Rush Podcast. And hormones. And Mizell is awesome. We love her.
She's our doctor of psychiatry. She works the Mark Gordon program with the hormones, and she adds her twist of genetics, and it basically is melding two wonderful mediums together, and we're getting great help from Dr. Mizell DeMayo.
So please check out her website at paradisebehavioral.com. Look up the Brainwell program. Get involved.
She's sponsoring us. They're sponsoring us for the next year, so we are excited to have them on board and shout the good news to everybody that is watching these broadcasts. So,
is she helping you, Paul?
Absolutely.
She's helping me. So go check her out. ParadiseBehavioralHealth.com. I just looked up diseases attributed to CTE: dementia, Alzheimer's disease, frontal lobe, Parkinson's disease, tremors, slow movement, stiffness, balance problems. Hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All of them. ALS.
Yeah. What was the statistic? 4 times more likely to get ALS,
Right,
if you played a certain number of years of football, and it's only.
Well, and your buddy's got ALS.
Yeah. Yes.
Tim
Tim Green.
Yeah.
Tim Green. Yeah. Yeah. He's I kind of look at ALS as 2 different categories. One kind of like the Stephen Hawking, you can live until you're 80 years old, but you're in a wheelchair and you can't speak, can't breathe on your own. And that's what he's dealing with right now. And then you have Mongo, the Chicago
Redskins.
Chicago Bears.
I thought Mongo was a Redskin. He's a Chicago Bears.
Well, he played with the Bears for years.
Oh, okay.
With the defense in '85 when they won the Super Bowl.
Mm.
Perry and Jim McMahon and
Right.
Mike Singletary was on that team.
Right. Smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but he passed pretty quickly. He just passed last year, I believe. So. Last thing, the movement symptom. This is kind of way down the road, and obviously they've been able to associate with CTE of people and families that lost loved ones that were able to comment on their actions. So gradual loss of control of movements such as walking, speaking, swallowing, and breathing, known as motor neuron disease. And obviously, again, we're talking about people who have had autopsies, and it's been proven they had CTE, and their loved ones were able to give and answer questions to the doctors regarding their status.
Well, put it this way: we were supposed to have a guest on today. I'm not going to say his name.
Right.
In studio.
Yeah.
And he forgot to show up. And I just received a text from him. He said, I effed up. I had it in my head. It is this Thursday. I'm so sorry, guys. I was so busy. I completely forgot. We had this planned, 3 months ago? I warned him on Tuesday. So, this disease causes issues.
Right. Well,
but the thing is,
a lot of hits in the
there's
head.
a lot of help out there also.
Right, exactly.
So, the greatest thing I've heard is the way Dr. Heyman said it is Boston University has done some terrific things. Great things.
Research,
really doing
advancing
the
research for
research,
CTE.
advancing everything at CTE.
Right.
But all their patients are dead.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'll be their patient when I die.
Right.
You'll be their patient when you die.
Mm-hmm.
But in the living, we got Dr. DeMeo, we got Dr. Mark Gordon, we got Dr. Amen, we got food, we got red light therapy, we got hyperbaric chamber, we ibogaine, mushrooms. There's so many things that you can try.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
EMDR, neurofeedback, that
This is really the voice of hope coming to you live, because we do have all those things that and they work for some people and some people they don't.
right.
Either some specific,
And not guaranteed.
they're not guaranteed. And,
I'm on 6 weeks and I still have my bad days of red light.
Mm-hmm. How really quick with the photobiomodulation, the red light therapy. You've been on it for 6 weeks.
I'm on my 6 week.
You're on
now.
the 6 week. Okay. Any advancements in your your thinking? Any advancements in your wife's thinking because she sees you day in and day out?
Rico says my speech is better. My talking to what my brain to what my mouth says is better,
Right.
and quicker.
I would agree with that.
My wife thinks it's gave me some more. I'm not getting affected as bad as I was.
Mm-hmm.
That it's helped with the storms. That it's not rocking me
Right.
to where I'm curled up in bed and just trying to get the day over with.
Right. And you remember these storms, yesterday, the day before, they rocked you a little bit, but we also had, like you said, last week, we got into it, you and I, and you were a little off from that probably.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we both.
Well, and the problem is when me and you got into it, it ended up taking me down a rabbit hole because my brain wouldn't shut off.
And that's common with repeated head impacts.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so finally, I just had to just drown it all out.
Right. Right.
Not associate, not talk about it, keep away from it.
So when you're, obviously you just kind of listed, the word of hope, and therapies that we're trying. You're personally trying a number of them. I've just started EMDR.
August, baby.
August, yeah. Hopefully the guest that missed today, he will get on eventually because he has a
Great story.
pretty good story about that August thing.
But it makes me wonder if it's a cure-all.
No. Well, that's the fact of the matter is, we were talking about Dr. Amen being a Pollyanna, and I was a Pollyanna person, and the bottom line is we're never going to get back to our brain health and wellness of 30 years old.
No. Even Eamon will tell you that.
And even Eamon did tell us that.
And Mark
absolutely.
Gordon will tell you that.
All of our physicians and doctors. But Dr. Amon's...
You ain't getting your 20-year-old brain back.
One of Dr. Amon's favorite sayings is, you don't have to settle with the brain you have right now. You can make it better. But that's what we're trying to do.
Well, Mark says that too.
Mark says that too. So that's what we're trying to do, researching all of these modalities, and eventually the Head Rush Foundation, we aspire to actually be able to that people that can't afford these treatments, because a lot of these treatments are not covered by insurance. So we aspire to start making these treatments available for some people that are able to get through a grant process through the Head Rush Foundation. So we're moving that way so slowly, and
very slowly.
Well, it's
but it's bringing injured people trying to do it.
Right.
Well, so bear with us.
Yeah, and the brain injured people know right now. These two know that we have another guest coming into studio, or actually coming into studio via Zoom, and we've got to
Wrap it up and go.
We've got to wrap it up and go. So
it was nice talking with y'all. Enjoyed it. Have fun. Hope you learn. Stay positive. Remember, you can't get mad till the 12th, 13th thing has gone wrong. The rule of 12.
And remember to think of what went well today when you lay your head on the pillow.
And then say your prayers.
Yeah. And Dr. Amen, thank you again for sharing those situations.
You know, I emailed him and told him, because remember in the episode how he said, email me in 3 weeks and let me know. I emailed him back, and
did you?
like, glad to hear it.
Good. That's great.
So,
all right.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry that we missed our guest today. We will invite him back on another time. But our next episode will be next week. So stay alert
and stay alive.
This podcast is for general information only and does not constitute the practice of medicine. The use of this information and the materials linked to this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard and delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.